Hello friends and talented people. This is Adra Awad from Awad Gallery, and this will be the first of many videos that will hopefully help you become a better artist. Now, drawing is a simple process of practice makes perfect. I will be talking about three important parts in this video. What tools you need, how to hold and use a pencil, and how shading works. So what tools do you need? You're gonna need some pencils, an eraser, or what I have right here is a kneaded eraser. You can also use it as a stress ball. You also might need a blending tool, and if you cannot get these, you can use your finger, which I do it all the time, or you can use a tissue. Okay, so for the pencils, you're gonna need a little range of pencils and pencil shades, and what I have here is different types of brands. Mainly I use Faber Castell, and what I have right here is a 3B Faber Castell. Now I want to talk about shading, and the range of pencils that I have is between H and 8B. Now for shading, you have to use your pencil in a way that you're using the flat side of the pencil. Alright, so I did mention that I want to talk about how you hold and use a pencil. When you hold your pencil like this, you are either ready to write with it or use it to kind of draw very specific detailed lines. When you hold your pencil from the middle, just like this, you're ready to kind of sketch. That's how you sketch with a pencil. When you hold your pencil like this, you are shading with it. So basically you're using the flat surface of the pencil right here, and you're using it to shade. Let's go back to learning about the shades. This is HB, and I'm probably gonna fast forward this section because it doesn't need to be too long. Alright, these are all the shades that I have, and it kind of ranges from H through 8B, and it goes darker in shade as you go up in number. Now, what do you need out of all these shades? You might need HB, 3B, 7B, but if you can't get any of these, you can always use whatever pencil you have and you will learn from it. Now, I want to go over shading and shading techniques. It is really important that you hold the pencil the way I showed you. So if you're shading, you can hold it like this. If you're drawing or sketching, you can hold it like this. And I'm gonna start by drawing a little circle. I want to talk about how shading works, and to do that we kind of have to talk about light source. For example, when you want to shade, you need to look at where the light source is coming from. If your light source is coming this way, then you're expecting that the lightest area of the drawing is going to be right here, and then this is going to be the darkest area, and then this will be your shadow, or the shadow that this object will cast behind it. Now, to shade with that understanding in mind, I'm just gonna make this part, since it's the darkest area, I'm gonna make it cleaner like this, and then I'm gonna start shading, starting right here where it's supposed to be dark, and then I can either use a different pencil, or I'm gonna stay with the 8B and make it a little bit lighter, so I don't really need to force my hand on top of the paper that much. I can just like shade it very lightly and have the same effect that I need if I wanted to use a 3B. for it to be. Now I'm using this blender to blend it a little bit and make it look soft. Personally, I don't use this blender too much. I use my finger, but for this demonstration, I'm just gonna use the blender, and I'm gonna clean this drawing with my kneaded eraser. Now the kneaded eraser is just very perfect for drawing because you can use it to lift some of the shading that happened right here and make it lighter. I'm not necessarily erasing, I'm just lifting some of the color. Now you can see that I made a ball out of that circle, and it is very simple. It's very simple techniques, and if you learn and practice to do that ball, then you're gonna go a long way because you're gonna eventually learn how to draw an eye, and you're gonna use this technique to draw an eye. Now I want to talk about a different shape. For example, if you have a cube, is it gonna be the shading, is it gonna be the same way, or is it going to be a little different? It is going to be a little different because now you have more than just one surface. The ball to me is just one surface. Now if you have more than one surface and you have the same light source coming this way, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to expect that this is going to be the brightest area of the cube. I'm also going to expect some shading here, and this will be my darkest area since it's the back and no light source is hitting it. And now for the shadow of this object, it's going to be right behind it, and it's gonna look something like this. Now I'm gonna blend all these areas and make it look smoother. This is a very simple process, but it really needs a lot of practice, and you can start practicing with any kind of shape you want. You can, for example, draw an apple and see where the light hits the apple. You can look at an apple in front of you and see what kind of light source do you have, because sometimes there's more than one light source and you end up having to draw more than two shadows. For example, if I had a different light source coming from right there, I would have another shadow right over here. But the only difference is which light source is stronger. If this was a stronger light source, it'll have a darker shadow behind it. If this was a lighter light source, it'll have a smaller or fainter shadow behind it, so it could look like this. You can also practice your shading techniques by using your pencil and going from light shading and then using a little bit more force to have or create darker shades until you reach the darkest shade that you can apply to this paper. Just to recap and make sure you understand the most important parts of this video, which is the tools that you need, is simply an eraser, something to blend with, and any pencil that you have. If it's an HB, then that'll work. You can still learn this technique with an HB. Now, for the way that you have to hold and use a pencil, it's very simple. You either are sketching and you hold it this way, or shading and you hold it this way. If you're doing anything else like writing or applying very minimum, very detailed strokes into your drawing, then you're gonna have to hold the pencil this way. Lastly, for the shading techniques, you have to understand where the light source is coming from and how light behaves. It always have the lightest area on the object right here where light hits it, and then the darkest area of the object right here where light doesn't reach it or hit it, and then the shadow will be right behind this object. I hope you enjoyed this video, and it will be a weekly lesson uploaded on Mondays. I would very much like to be involved and support your art journeys and help you with any question or suggestions you might have. Thank you for watching!